It's very cold. Just the wind and the rain doesn't make it better. In my last live stream, I used to have a van. I used to have a van. But I used to also have cars back in Japan. I never had a car here in the US. I always rent a car. I think the reason why I never wanted to own a car in the US is because of the car break-ins, car thefts, smashing windows. But not only that, like your insurance rates here are just outrageously stupid. In Japan, I only had to pay a flat rate and that was it. It never increased and never increased, even if I was on a track, a legal track, and I was just playing around on a racetrack and I caused an accident. No. But yeah, I don't know. It just driving in the US is a little bit more. You have to be more cautious than anything. In Japan, the rules are strict about driving. So this is why I was comparing it a while ago about if you get the driver's license in the US, it's pretty damn easy. But come to Japan, I guarantee you all fail the test multiple times because it's never the same test and it's never the same driving course either. So there's a lot of laws and a lot of driving policies that you have to follow. You have to follow those. I don't need a car to stay warm. You know what I need? I need a house in the sky. So I can watch over you while I'm warm. No, I'm kidding. I don't need a car. That's just too much expense, I think. I paid $67 a month for car insurance. Some people pay like No. Yeah. I think that's a little still too much. How about paying $40 or $30 or $35 a month for insurance? It's freaking cold and I gotta conserve battery. But if you're homeless, I'm gonna talk to the homeless community right now. If you're homeless, please do me a favor. Document your own stories. If you have a cell phone, please document your stories. Because there is a couple of YouTube channels on the platform. This is not about discrimination or, free speech. This is about constitutional law. This is about human rights. And there's a few YouTubers, a number of YouTubers, I explained this in another last video. A famous YouTube channel is trying to figure out if this other YouTube channel or YouTube channels are legit. Because something in the comments, people are raising some suspicion that maybe the YouTuber is pocketing the money that was donated to go to this person or persons was not given. So yeah, and this is why I want to say, like, when people abuse homelessness, you abuse it mentally, physically, financially, and economically, you do it. And right now, people are doing it economically and mentally, and I just feel like it's wrong. So if you're homeless, if you don't have a cell phone, ask one of your other homeless friends, you have a cell phone, can you like record my video? And can you like upload it to my Gmail? If you don't have an email, you're not computer savvy. Listen, friends, listen, it takes a few hours a day to sit down with Panda, and I will teach you how to be tech savvy in 6 months. If you never typed on a computer before, I can teach you how to do that. This is why I travel consult. Well, you'd be surprised how much people actually be paying for car insurance. I've seen someone here paying like $42 for car insurance. Then again, that person's never gotten into a freaking accident yet. Because he doesn't drive his fucking car. He takes the bike every single day. He lives in Madison, Wisconsin, by the way. There's no point taking the car unless you live in Wisconsin Dells, you live in Baraboo, you live in Black Earth, which is about 45 minutes, an hour away from Madison. Yeah. If you live by Epic is one of those technological companies in Madison, Wisconsin, or if you're a web developer, like, or a game developer in Madison, you have to drive. And technically you don't. You can just take the bus. But if you live outside of like Madison, yeah. But this guy, he lives inside Madison. Well, what do they call that? College Grove? He lives in College Grove, Wisconsin, which is outside of Pomona, Madison, Wisconsin. Still in Dane County. But the guy never drives his car. He takes his bike all the time, even during the winter. The guy would take the bike and then take the bus. And that's what most people do. And yeah, that's what I would do. There's no point wasting, intoxifying the air. And by the way, I thought in New York law, idling in your car is illegal. And I think that should be illegal. When you idle in your car, you're just wasting gas and you're polluting the air. Yeah, I think carbon emissions, if people really want to fix the carbon emissions in the air, like, don't idle your car. But then again, like, I know you have to stay warm, but this is why cars are really not designed to stay warm. Because if they were, you wouldn't have to turn on your gas in order to get heat. You can just use electricity in order to get heat. But some cars do that. I know in some older cars you have to turn on your car in order to draw heat. And some cars you can just turn on the car halfway, the power, and turn it on. But if you have an electric vehicle, that might be a different story, friends. But I'm just emphasizing stories and ideas and tips. That's all. But it's late night. I'm not going to keep you guys up too long. But Panda will like some hot chocolate. With almond milk, with no dairy, no whip, no base, no sweetener either. Why you people put sweetener in hot chocolate? That is insanely stupid. Chocolate has its natural sweetness already. Why do you guys put sweetener? That is insane. Oh my Panda, talk about obesity in the country. Jeez, friends. So, I want to talk about the Good To Go app. So, I haven't been using it a lot lately, I'm going to be honest with you, because money has been super tight. Super fucking tight, actually. And when, like, let's say someone donated $10. You know what I want to do with that freaking $10? I want to buy a Metro card. But I also want to buy new pants. But I also want to buy food. But I also want to buy new thermals or new underwear. You know, because you know it's winter, and I'm pretty sure at this time, and I'm gonna say this right now, I'm gonna be very honest. I don't normally keep my winter and my winter clothes during the summer or the spring? Let me explain. Because when you're out here, you go through your clothes start to tear and it loses quality. So if you're a homeless woman or man and you work and you're houseless and you're dealing with that situation and you know this and you've been through this situation when you have to like spend money every 6 months or every every season, because when you're out here a lot and you're washing your clothes in hot water to clean the dirt and the filth, and yeah, that's a necessary thing. But normally I clean my clothes in warm water and then hang dry them. But sometimes I do dry them in the dryer. But what I'm trying to emphasize is that like I have to restock on underwear, fresh socks, new pants, because I brought new pants like 3 months ago. And basically, they already got a hole in them on the side underneath my crotch. And it always happens there, underneath my crotch. It's... Yeah, so, yeah, I'm pretty sure soon I need to buy new pants because both pants have a hole underneath my crotch. I don't understand why it always happens there. That's just bizarre. But I need to buy new socks because the socks that I do have, I had them for a year, the Columbia socks. But now they lost their quality, and for some reason, like, I don't know what's going on, but when I was washing a few pairs of those, they started to shred in the washing machine. Ooh, that's pretty bad. And my underwear, yeah, it's time to get rid of the underwear. It's starting to fade and get a little bit too, they're not tight like they're supposed to be. They're like thin, there's not thickness to them anymore. And not only that, like, oh, it's fading. Yeah, all of them, the blue, the red. Actually, I lost a few. I don't know how. Maybe I left it in the hostel washing machine. I don't know. But yeah, when you're out here and you got to deal with the elements, people think it's so easy. Well, it could be easy if you're smart. You don't have to be street smart to be smart about how to survive as a homeless or houseless person trying to get day by day. And yes, I'm talking to everyone that is facing houselessness because half of the population is in denial about houselessness. Let me explain houselessness, okay? Let me explain about it. If you live on someone's couch, you pay someone to sleep on someone's couch, you're still homeless. If you have to sleep on the subway, you're homeless. If you have to like sleep in your car and then go to work, you're homeless. Yeah, people, yeah, if you sleep in your car, people, it's considered homelessness. Where is it? Let's say, for instance, I have a monk friend that she's a software developer. She decided that she was never going to rent anymore. She lives here in the States. We met back last year at the local NY hostel while she was here in New York City. And I was telling her about the van because she has a van. She wanted to show it to me. And she showed me the van. And I was like, wow, this is just simple, just like I had mine. Simple, easy. Well, that was the plan for mine. But she says, I would never want to rent. I live out my van. I do my work from my van. Yeah, she goes to the hot spots. But she says that why do Americans always think that this is homelessness when it's a choice to live in your van or not in your van? It's a choice. But, and we were like having this conversation about how sometimes Americans ration out things out of context, and you have to just take it with a grain of salt. But and then I was just let her know that, like, listen, I'm houseless and homeless and work here and there. But you know what people do? They They do the opposite of support it sometimes. Sometimes they don't like your movement. They don't like your life choices. They will disagree with your decision. And she was agreeing with me because some of her friends, or so-called friends, disagree about her choice to live in her van. But she has saved so much money, and she was able to travel around the United States and went to places that she thought she would never get the chance to see. And that's an advantage of owning a vehicle that's also your place of living. Now, living in your car could be cool, but owning a van might be even better and much more practical for you. And you can be able to visit every single place that you ever wanted to visit in the United States. You can go to Texas, Colorado, you can go to national parks that you always wanted to like camp out, get the feel, just get the excitement like I used to do it. I used to do it all the time. Go camping, go hiking, do all the adventure stuff that you should be doing to ease your mind a little bit, but also get a good sense of like why you were chosen to live on this planet. As one time only. This is a one-time only special. Think about it. You don't have one life. Why are you wasting it doing idiocracy and trying to be a dictator or tyrant, or trying to just dislike this video because you are angry inside? Why? When you can just go out there and do what I just explained to do and enjoy yourself and make yourself happy and seeing the world for what it is and seeing that like, yeah, the world needs to clean up itself. And you can see the homelessness everywhere, not just in New York City, but also every single country you go to. This is why I tell people like New York City has 9 million people living in it. 32% of that is homeless. Not everyone you see walking down these streets have a home. Some people live in the subway. Some people live with their friends on their couch. Some people live in their vans, which that's a thing in Brooklyn. People are starting to complain about NYPD cracking down on vehicles that look like people living inside of them. And NYPD needs to stop doing that. That's profiling, friends. That's a human right to sleep. And that's a human right to own a vehicle and sleep in your own vehicle. You're violating my 4th constitutional right there. And everyone knows the 4th Amendment. Make sure a police officer have a fucking warrant to go to search and seize your fucking vehicle. Because they don't, they violate your 4th Amendment. That includes your home, papers, or property. Yeah, that's a thing that's going on. You got people out here, white, black, Asian, Hmong, Thai. Well, you don't see a lot of Hmong here. Because when I talk about Hmong and Thai culture here in New York City, people are like, what's Hmong? Like, Thai, Hmong, Lao? You don't, oh my panda. Yeah, there's not a lot of Hmong culture here. So, I like the culture. I think it's unique. I think the food could be a little bit, a little extreme. Because I tried to eat the vegetarian style stuff, but they eat a lot of pork. And E loves that damn pork. Oh, my panda. You guys are probably saying, how do you kiss E if she's eating pork? I don't. I wait till she eats pork. I wait like an hour. Like, brush your teeth, yeah, you wash your mouth, you drink, no pork breath. Yeah, me and E had some good times, friend. Yeah, me and E always had good times. And that's the thing, like, there was certain foods, certain Japanese foods that she didn't like. She didn't like stinky tofu. I was like, oh my panda, you should have loved that. That's so beneficial and so healthy for you. But that's the thing. Why would the police have to be sued? The police should know, listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is a constitutional law. Police should know what that jacket represents. When they mean by jacket, they know what that means. Ladies and gentlemen, They know when they put on that uniform, that jacket, that service, your service in the community, the taxpayers are paying your bill, your paycheck. And then when you do something to the civilian that is paying your paycheck, the officer makes a mistake, not just any mistake, a competent mistake. What I mean by competent, the person was aware of what he or she was doing. Now the city has to cough up thousands and hundreds of millions of dollars. And guess who has to be taxed for that? The taxpayer. So at the end of the day, the taxpayer is getting hurt. No matter what. Just because someone wins a lawsuit doesn't mean everyone wins. Because not everyone wins. Because the taxpayer now has to pay out their ass to give this person the lawsuit money that they won and claimed. And that is the problem with policing in America or internationally. But in America, that's the problem. Policing, and that's when you defund the police. And when you defund the police, you also defund the citizens of this country or the state. You're literally costing taxpayers more money. Police officers, when you put on a uniform, your job is to do a better assessment and protect those and serve. I pay your paycheck. We pay your paycheck. No officer should tell you what to do. Unless you are being detained of a crime, they have proof of suspicion that you have, or they have seen you have committed a crime. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, the taxpayers are the ones that have to still suffer at the end of a lawsuit. So no one wins other than that person that actually won that lawsuit and his lawyers or her lawyers. And that's what hurts Americans the most. You see? This is why policing in America should change. The policies should change. And there should be a lot of change. Better evaluation assessments, psychology assessments. I'm not fit to be a police officer. I know that. Why? Because I don't like fucking guns in real life. Can I use a bow and arrow? Can I be an archer? Is there any police officer in the world that uses a bow and arrow on duty? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, Jay, I'm not going to talk about that on this channel. Yeah, I stopped doing that because I've been being demonetized. Have you noticed? I haven't been talking about demonetization. So, yeah, Jay. But I know. It's just crazy how the East Flatbush incident is making people in Flatbush uncomfortable right now. I just want to focus on constitutional law here. That's all. On this channel, I just want to focus on it because a lot of homeless men and women don't even know their rights. And then they do know their rights. They don't know how to articulate those rights to a police officer in the right manner where the police officer can understand that you're literally about to violate my constitutional law. And not only that, you're literally doing things unethically, officer, which costs taxpayers more money. So if I were you, be a better assessment. And this is why, if you didn't watch the news lately, also, back in 2019, a black woman and her 2 daughters were sitting in the car right before trying to go in Starbucks. His Starbucks opens at sometimes like 5:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock at certain areas and certain places, right? And these police officers decided to violate their human and constitutional rights. And they were rewarded $8 million. Yeah, it took from 2019, 2020, 21, 22 to 2023 to decide to reward them $8 million. That comes out of taxpayers. That comes out of taxpayers' pockets. That includes you, me, and everyone else. No, Jay. I understand you want to have a discussion, but you gotta understand, I'm trying to filter trying to filter some of the problems I've been occurring on the channel with demonetization. But it's late in the morning, everybody. It's like what, 3:30 a.m. and it's raining off and on. Kind of sucks, everybody. But with that said, everyone, I just want everyone to know their rights, but also understand that just because you're happy because someone won a lawsuit, guess what? If you live in that state, you're going to have to pay more and more and more and more, to a point where you can't afford to pay rent. And that's why homelessness occurs. That's part of the problem. Why homelessness exists. That's part of a problem. Yeah, when you create higher taxes and there's so many lawsuits, the taxpayers have to pay more. The more of that happens, the more people suffer, the more people cannot afford rent, the more people can't pay their bills, keep their phone on. But also, I'd like to say thank you, Lord Brian, for helping me turn on my phone. I appreciate that, friend. I'm getting sick of the Wi-Fi, man. This city's Wi-Fi is not safe. If you guys are using Wi-Fi in the city, this video is not sponsored by VPN, but I'm using this VPN called Windscribe as my VPN, but I also can't afford Northern VPN anymore. Such a good VPN service to block out your location. If you're using free Wi-Fi, let me explain how this works, ladies and gentlemen. Disclaimer, I'm not sponsored by any VPN, but I use VPNs on my laptop, I use VPNs on my phones, and the reason why I recommend using VPN, because it literally takes the cyber security in your own hands and make it easy. So with that said, everyone, you block out intrusions, scammers, blockers. You block out scammers. You block out the spam mail, the unnecessary, unwanted ads when you want to watch a movie. And if you have Netflix, and let's say you're not from this country, but you're working here on a visa, or you're homeless and you're on a phone and you want to watch something from your native country and you're homeless out here, you can just switch the VPN's location to that location and you can watch your favorite shows on Netflix or Hulu or whatever network service or online television network you watch your shows on. But the point is, using a VPN protects and helps secure your identity. So use a VPN now. I'm going to leave a link to the VPNs that I recommend down in the bottom in the description a little bit later. But for now, I'm going to do it after the video. But just give you guys some context why I use VPNs all the time. And I'm starting to notice that the VPNs that I've used, it's good, but I noticed that the Wi-Fi out here doesn't like my VPNs. Like it bottlenecks or like it stops my video when I want to watch The Mandalorian Season 3. Love that show. I love that Marino. I know I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I love the writing material. And I loved Mando. Oh my panda. If I was a fucking Mandalorian, oh my panda. You know how much justice I would do? If I was a real life Mandalorian and walking around here looking all swagger like he does, oh my panda. I really love that show. It's one of the best shows I've been waiting for 2023. After I couldn't get enough of 2022, I wanted more Mandalorian. It's a really good show, everybody. And I know it's fucking Disney, and I know Disney and Kevin Feige, and yeah, friend, let me explain this. Ant-Man Quantumania was trash. It was fucking trash. Stop making these bullshit continuum stories on these Marvel characters without giving it more thought and context. I felt like Ant-Man Quantumania felt really short, because here's the thing. This is why it felt short. So Scott Lang's daughter, Cassie, I would wanted to see, she was so closer to Hank Pym in the movie, where I couldn't understand how she's that close to Hank Pym. If you watch the first Ant-Man and the Wasp movie, or Ant-Man, Hank Pym wasn't a very social person and didn't trust a lot of people. But for some reason, this is where I didn't understand the story plot. For some reason, Hank Pym now is closer to Cassie than her father? What? What did we miss? So what I wanted to see was the storyline of how Cassie and Hank Pym got along, because now Cassie is now this brilliant young scientist that figured how to map the quantum realm. How did she learn that? From Hank Pym. So why didn't that was in the movie? Why wasn't that in the movie? How she learned all this? I wanted to see that concept and that interaction between Hank Pym and Cassidy. And that's what we did not see. And this is why I was so confused. And not only that, how the fuck Cassidy was able to use her suit so easy when her father was struggling to use the suit for months in the first Ant-Man and the Wasp. And that's what not makes sense to me. This is why it felt short. So if you are a movie enthusiast, if you watch Ant-Man and Wasp, if you disagree with me or you agree with me, leave it down in the comments below. Because I felt that the movie just, it was not worth all this hype and wait. When some of the CGI needs to be cleaned up first and foremost. Yeah, the green screens and the blue screens, I'm sorry. It needs to be well polished like it was at the first Avengers. Oh, the first Avengers was better than that. But you guys get what I'm saying. I just didn't understand the story plot, that's all. But with that said, everyone, I'm going to get going. I'm going to conserve battery. But if you guys want to support the channel, I got a Patreon. The Patreon, and I want to do a plug for how you can help and support this channel. Listen carefully, ladies and gentlemen. I have a Patreon. If you join the Patreon, you support a Patreon of your choice once a month to help the content on this channel. If you do not want to sign up for the Patreon, there is Amazon links to some of the gear that I use down in the descriptions below. There's also links to Sunway Photos website because I use most of their stuff on my mobile. So you get 5% off if you use the promo code ThePandaPhotographer, all one word. The link is down in the descriptions below. But if you want to support it financially right on the spot and say, hey, I would like to buy you breakfast this morning, there is a PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, a Google Pay, and a Wise. If you don't know what Wise, for you international viewers, Wise is an international transfer donation link where you can donate to that link, and you have to sign up though in order to send money. So it's a very secure what is it? CC? What is that? Very secure website to donate for you international people. But hope you blanket? What? No, I don't have a blanket. Sorry. I try not to carry as much stuff, and the blanket that I am using, I'm covering it in my stuff. I don't want to get too wet. So that's how you can support the channel, ladies and gentlemen. But think about it. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. If I have over 5,235 subscribers, and each subscriber was to donate $2, I'd be hungry rich right now. That means I can literally have a big breakfast, a big lunch, and a big dinner. And not only that, I can get a hostel for the night. Because these next 2 nights are going to be the rough. If you guys didn't see the weather for the East Coast, it's going to be a rough one. Non-stop rain and wind. Gusty wind. So think about that for a second. $2 per donation. And imagine if I had 5,000 subscribers that donated $2 each. I'd be a rich man. I will literally make videos about food that I'm eating. Oh, speaking of that, I do have this. This is good. Daily greens. Why do you need a daily green smoothie or drink? to help clean out your liver and your kidneys. It's good for bowel movement. Yes, I said bowel movement. So drinking your greens and eating kale. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, do we need to talk about food consumption here? Listen, if you're not eating these superfoods, ginger, garlic, blueberries, pomegranate, kale, green leaf, even the celery. You know celery? You know the celery leaves on the celery? Eat those. Eat those, and I guarantee you, you do that for the next 3 to 4 weeks. And drink enough water. And if you do intermittent fasting, if you guys know what intermittent fasting is that you don't eat a breakfast, but what you can do is consume coffee or tea and water, right? You take your daily supplements during your day, right? But what you do is you eat at some point of the day, like let's say you want to eat at 4 p.m., you eat a really big high calorie meal that can cover all your calories for the day. That's called intermittent fasting, if I can explain that pretty barely. That's what I do. This is what I have to do, because we are on a budget. We can't eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner all the time. Yeah. So this is what I have to do. So take it with a grain of salt, ladies and gentlemen. This is why when people said, oh, you look much younger than your age, I'm like, well, it could be a number of things. I consume a lot of good foods, and I tried to eat a raw garlic. Ladies and gentlemen, eat 1 raw garlic per day. It could be it can be at the noon, but do it before noon. Don't do it in the middle of the day, because you want it to help your body break down some of that bacteria, and also it helps with blood flow. It's good for your heart, but it does make your breath stink. So this is why I recommend eating 1 garlic per day. Eating kale is very vital. Ginger, blueberries, pomegranate, very good. Also have some pineapple. Now, you might not think pineapple is beneficial, but pineapple once a week would help as well. But I'll talk to you guys in the next video. See ya.